Alright guys, we have the full kit breakdown here for Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Let's go ahead and see what they cooked up with this guy. He has strike attack and blast defense 38% on his Z ability, 18% to strike defense on Majin Buu Saga. Alright, he gets 10 key on his strike cards while charging forward, 10 key on blast right there. Blue card pretty standard, 30% special move on hit, shortens ally sub count, reduce enemy key. Nothing too crazy yet. His green card draws one new card, restores health by 15% and key by 40, charges his gauge by 20%, cover null and 20 counts of damage. All pretty okay stuff. This is nothing great. Now his main ability transforms him into Super Saiyan 3, gives him 50% of his health back, 50 key, 10 counts of cover null, nullifies endurance for 15 timer counts, cancels attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions. That's already a pretty great main on its own. But if you have a full gauge, he also gets a full hand, vanish back, a Dragon Ball, immunity to card destruction, shortens his sub count by 2 permanently, destroys all of the enemy cards. That is a very, very powerful main right there. Very, very powerful main. Now his damage inflicted off the bat is at 160. He has 70% cut, card draw, 30% key recovery, -5 to cost. Comes into the battlefield, draws one new card if you have 3 or less. Restores health by 10, key by 20, charges unique gauge by 10, permanent 10% health increase right there by the way. Charges unique gauge by 10, 60% additional damage inflicted, so you're looking at 240 already. And 10% damage to impact, slice, and explode damage. Very, very good base stats already. And when he uses a Strike or Blast card, he draws another card up to 2 times, resets after character switch, and he gets damage inflicted on use. Okay, minus 15% to enemy health restoration. It's looking really good for this Goku so far, and this is only base. When the enemy switches characters while this guy's on the battlefield, he gets another 30 key, shortens sub count by 2, and then he gets a couple debuffs as well. Okay. Strike cover changes, that combos in the blue card. When he cover changes, he destroys up to 2 enemy cards 3 times, and after that he only destroys 1. Activation count is shared. He also gets +5 to their cost for 10 timer counts, which isn't too effective. And when the enemy activates special move Ultimate Awakened or Rising Rush while he's on the battlefield, he gets 15% health back up to 3 times, shared between pre and post. Shortens ally sub count by 3, okay. Cancels enemy attributes and buff effects, which is amazing. Wow, man, they really cooked. And shortens own sub count by 3 when the enemy activates Ultimate Awakens or Rising Rush while he's on standby. Restores ally health by 20% when this character is defeated. Interesting. 50% own unique engagement when an ally other than this character is defeated. And then that is also shared. Interesting that he's lowering his own sub count. Because I don't think this guy has endurance so far at least. I don't know why you'd want to bring him in. It's kind of a flawed design. And then quickly charges his own gauge based on his key charge, and when it's full he gets a special arch, 50% health, 50% permanent damage to allies, seals enemy special move arts, and the sealed arc cannot be used for 5 timer counts. Very, very solid base. A lot of healing. A lot of healing in that first part of the kit. A lot of damage. Very good solid base to work off of. Let's go ahead and see what he does when he transforms. So now we have the post-transformation Super Saiyan 3 here. Strike card is the same, blast card is the same, but that is basically a -10 cost on both, which is very good. Blue card has 30% damage on hit, pretty good effects as well, and 25% of your gauge for type neutral is not horrible, pretty good. 25% gauge should be pretty easy to get, as long as it's still a key charge gauge. Green card draws 2 new cards if you have 3 or less, restores health by 15%, key by 50, 20% damage, type, or not type neutral, cover null, and 20% damage, okay. Combos into anything, and if you have 25% of your gauge, you get vanish back and 3 counts of locking them in. Green card's not too great, it's just a nice little extender. His main ability pose gives him a blue card, 30% health 50, charges own unique gauge, cancels enemy attribute upgrades and buff effects. So you could use that to get rid of like if they have type neutral against you. So that could be good for that, but not too crazy of a main. I think you kind of just use this main if they have like a type neutral against you and you want to get rid of it. And then, so when he transforms, he charges unique gauge by 100% immediately. And for 100 timer counts, he gets 40% additional damage, nothing crazy. He has 2 level 2 card draw speed now, and he has an additional 50% -5 type neutral to damage sustained for the whole game after that, and attribute upgrades under normal conditions. When he enters the battlefield, he gets 1 new card 50 or less, 10% healing every single time, which is very good. Rose applies buff effects to cover null, still has this, and he gets endurance null every time he comes in. That's very, very good. Very, 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 very good. These are all very good effects. Whenever he uses Striker Blast, he still has his damage stacking. He gets up to a card twice, resets on switch. While this character's on the battlefield, he gets, while they switch, he gets 30 key, 2 sub count, and all these debuffs. And now his Gover change is against blast cards, but it still combos into his blue. And he has the same effects when he cover changes. Still keeps the same healing and buff effect removal that he has in pre. Obviously, we knew that because of the shared effect from base. And restores all ally health by 20% when he's defeated. So if you do end up losing this Goku, he does give you the health back. Activation count is shared. It is still a key charge gauge. However, it doesn't seem like in post transformation he gets a green card or anything like that, or any stats from his gauge. So the gauge post transformation is just meant to be consumed, and that's why it's there, but it doesn't give you anything when you fill it up. So that's kind of where it's there for. His ult, so he doesn't have an ult, he just has the blue. The Goku looks very solid. I think he's looking pretty durable. This might be the first ever green LF during a celebration. That isn't disappointing, but we'll have to see what happens when he comes out. He does look pretty good on paper, but he looks kind of basic. He does look pretty good, but he looks pretty basic. He's nothing like too crazy. But his damage should be very, very good with all the damage percentage he has, as well as the stacking. So let's go ahead and see how much damage he's at. So he's at 160 right here. 160, then another 60 right here. But this is when he enters the battlefield. He has that for the rest of the field, though. So 160 plus the 60 right here, that'll put him at 220. Then after that, 220, he gets another damage on gauge, I believe. He gets this 15%, so that puts him at 235. So from 235, then after that is when he transforms. He has 235, and then his post-transformation gives him another 40. So that'll put him at 275. And that is, well, I believe his peak. He doesn't get any other damage here anywhere. But 275 is very good with damage stacking because he's getting 15% damage per card. So even after like 2 cards, he's at 305 inflicted, which is all very good. I don't remember seeing cut penetration in here though. When we double check that, I don't think I saw cut pen. He does have a lot of damage, but it does look like he has no cut pen. Let me check his blue and green as well. Green damage. And then blue card, just type neutral damage, yeah. He doesn't have cut pen. That's the only thing I could see maybe like limiting his damage, that he has no cut pen. But if you pair this guy with like Ultimate Gohan, he'll get like cut pen. Oh, not Ultimate Gohan. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, he'll give him some cut pen as well. But this guy looks pretty solid. Definitely gonna have to keep an eye on him. He should do some pretty good damage, but again, other than that, he looks like a pretty basic and nothing like too crazy. But with that being said, that is going to be the breakdown for Super Saiyan 2 Goku that transforms into Super Saiyan 3. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Wizen, signing out.